Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit. I want to thank you so very much for joining me for our Friday Puja and Satsang. This is part 37 of our 64 Yogini series. And tonight we are honoring Ma Bhadrakali, also known as Rudrakali. And I'm going to start out with a little story. This is an excerpt from my third book, Kali Meditation, book 3. Daily practices for the oldest form of Kali worshipped in the Kathmandu Valley. Bhadrakali, the giver of good fortune. In what would become the eastern section of Kathmandu was a small farm owned by a poor family. The farmer would set to work in his fields early each morning, leaving a cloth bundle holding his lunch underneath a tree. One day during the spring planting, the farmer sat beneath the tree and opened the cloth. Instead of the usual rice flour loaf baked by his wife the previous day, the farmer found a small gold bar. This occurred again for the next several days, making the farmer and his family quite wealthy. In another account, a tantric practitioner named Sasvat Bajra traveled to the temple of Kamaru Kamacha in India and worshipped the Divine Mother in the form of Sri Bhadrakali. The goddess was pleased by his worship and came to Nepal with him, contained in a holy water pot or kalesh. Upon reaching the farmer's field outside the city, he went to run some errands and hung the pot under a tree. Kalika, the Divine Mother, left the water pot and took the form of a small girl and walked away. The farmer met her on his way to the field and questioned her, but she laid down below the tree and fell asleep, and the farmer walked away. The farmer could not find her when he returned, but saw the Divine Mother Kalika standing in the same spot instead. Her skin was red in color, and she squatted with one foot upon Lord Bhairava, the wrathful form of Shiva, and the other upon the goddess Kalaratri, meaning dark of night. She both assumed Bhujangasana, the cobra pose. In her 8 hands she held a curved skinning blade or kartika, a damaru drum, a sword, a small shield, a trident, and the severed head of a demon. In her 7th hand she held a skull cup filled with nectar, and the 8th held the mudra of dispelling fear. Her face was peaceful and motherly. Then Sasvat Bajra also saw the goddess, and the place was established as the temple of Bhadrakali. In yet another legend, a priest had a vision of the Divine Mother telling him to dig into the soil in the same field. Following her directions, he dug a hole in the same spot and found the stone image of Ma Bhadrakali. And I'll hold up this illustration. The Bhadrakali temple was built in 1817. The temple consists of a sunken courtyard surrounded by a sculpted metal fence. Around this main sanctuary are several smaller stone shrines. Bhadrakali is known as Lumadi Ahima, the mother or grandmother of the golden loaves, and she is worshipped by those seeking good fortune and success in their endeavors. Bhadrakali is also the patron deity of the Nepali army. There's a tacit story to this legend where in the early 1800s, the kingdom of Nepal was being invaded by the armies of a neighboring kingdom. And it was the king of Nepal who sent the sage Sasvat Bajra to India to try and enlist the help of Ma Bhadrakali. When the opposing army found out that Ma Bhadrakali was now in Nepal, they turned back and returned to the kingdom from whence they came. Hence, Bhadrakali is also the patron deity of the Nepali army. Again, welcome and namaste. Anyone tuning in at this time, please feel free to say hello using the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Before we begin our satsang, I have a couple of announcements. We will not be having a Puja and satsang this coming Tuesday. Unfortunately, we have some serious plumbing work being done in the house, which this contains this temple, and there's no guarantee that the workmen will be finished in time for the broadcast. So instead, we will not have anything on Tuesday, but we will have our usual Puja and Satsang Friday. So a week from today, and it will be our monthly Yoga Nidra, and the topic to be announced. So Bhadrakali Yogini. Bhadrakali means the one who is auspicious and black. Her other name is Rudrakali, which means Kali the Howler, and presumably she is the Shakti of a very early form of Lord Shiva known as Rudra, which also means the Howler. It's mentioned in the Rig Veda, by the way. Bhadrakali Yogini is therefore a form of the Hindu goddess Kali and part of the 64 Yoginis, and she represents fierce protection, cosmic justice, and spiritual transformation. She's considered an auspicious form of Adi Shakti, the supreme feminine energy, and is revered for her ability to destroy evil and empower her devotees. So, as a form of Kali, she's known for her power and her ferocity. And Indian images of Bhadrakali tend to show a very fierce form of Kali standing upon Lord Shiva, very often holding a variety of weapons, and also having two small fangs or tusks in her mouth. So she's revered for her protective qualities and her ability to destroy negative forces and to overcome obstacles. She's also considered an auspicious and fortunate aspect of Adi Shakti, as I mentioned before, bringing blessings and prosperity. So Bhadrakali, she can be very fierce, but she's also a very benevolent form of Kali. Bhadrakali Yoginis worshipped is believed to empower her devotees to face their fears, to overcome challenges, and to achieve a deeper understanding of the divine. And those would be wonderful personal sankalpas to have during our ritual tonight. She's associated with tantric tantric practices which focus on using the divine feminine energy to achieve spiritual liberation. And she's related to recognizing the presence of the divine within oneself, not just without. In essence, Bhadrakali Yogini is a powerful form of the Divine Mother who embodies both fierce protection and the potential for spiritual transformation. And her worship offers a path to overcome challenges, achieve inner strength, and connect with the divine feminine energy. Benefits of worshiping Ma Bhadrakali, along with the removal of fears and obstacles and negativity. Other benefits would include protection, success, health, immunity, power, increasing wealth and prosperity, safety for the family, good relationships, happiness in life. So I'd like to talk some more about the images of Ma Bhadrakali. So the statuette on our altar tonight is of the Nepali form, and we see that she is holding a sword for cutting away, for slaying our inner demons, a Damaru drum representing the power of time and the acceptance of change, the Kartika flaying blade, cutting away ego attachments, a small shield. So Kali's sword, as I've mentioned before, is an invincible weapon. You have Kali's sword, you can't lose. So that little shield is not for her protection, but for the protection of her devotees. The trident, creation, preservation, destruction. Also, the three main energy passages of the body, Ida, Pingla, and the central channel, Shushumna. And then the head of a demon. And then two beings underneath. They're in a form of Bhujangasana. Try and bring that a little bit closer. Or cobra pose. So in association with the raising of Kundalini energy. Very often on images of Bhadrakali, these two figures will be in opposite directions. And this refers to this form of the Divine Mother existing in the present moment, not dwelling on the past, not obsessing on the future, but she is content to be in the here and the now. And we see this very comforting motherly or grandmotherly expression on her face. She holds a skull cup or kapala, representing the transformation of consciousness, and she is displaying the mudra of dispelling fear. And she is squatting in a birth-giving posture. Her power as a mother. The typical three eyes. Her awareness is not just in regular waking consciousness, but other realms of consciousness. And then borrowing from Tibetan Buddhism, there are 5 skulls in her crown, representing the transformation of poisons. And kind of a signature piece for this particular artist, I'll try and make this as visible as possible, but in her crown, there's a little owl of wisdom. And the owl is associated with different forms of Ma Chamunda. I'll return her to the altar. And I'd like to say namaste to Jamie. Thank you for joining me. And then when we look at her image from the 64 Yogini temple, namaste to Kim. Her image from the temple at Hirapur in the state of Orissa, near Bhubaneswar. We see that again, she's in a traditional position for Indian dance. So she is dancing the dance of the cosmos. Her hair is woven, indicating that her Shakti is being devoted and toward a specific cause. Again, her hands, well, one hand is actually fairly intact, but what she's holding has been broken away. And so we really don't know what object she's holding. I think there's a good likelihood, just based on where we see some rock broken away, that she may have been holding a sword. And here, possibly a trident, or maybe a bow, an arrow, which would work very well with her connection of being a goddess of the present moment, because the bow and the arrow represents the focus that we should have in meditation. And then her vehicle is the crow. And crows represent high intelligence. They're actually the smartest members of the birds. According to Nepali folklore, it was crows who taught language to the first humans. And then crows are carrion birds They're scavengers. They're birds you would find in the cremation ground. And they represent the slow removal of those things that we're attached to that we no longer need in our lives. So there's the traditional image from the 64 Yogini temple. Straighten that picture out a little bit. There we go. So again, our mantra tonight is Om Krim Bhadrakali Namah. Om, the expansive, creative power of the universe. Krim is the seed mantra for Kali. Bhadrakali, her name, and Namaha, to her we give reverence. So I invite everybody to find a comfortable seated position where you can look upon the screen of your device with a relaxed gaze. And let's begin by breathing deeply. Grounding, centering as we breathe slowly and deeply. Letting go of the cares of the day. Those connections with the past and future. Just breathe away those things so that you can be in the present moment. And focusing your breath and your attention on your heart center. And connecting with that divine presence within yourself. And as you breathe and as you focus on your heart center, I invite you to think of some small aspect of your life that is ready for change, for resolution, for healing. Maybe there's some knowledge that would be helpful for you to gain at this point. But think about whatever that personal issue is. And I invite you to take a moment and silently to yourself, just between you and the Divine Mother, state that intention for tonight's practice. What is your purpose for taking part in this meditation tonight? And then I invite you to bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And let's begin our practice tonight by chanting the syllable Krim, Ma Kali's seed mantra, 3 times. So inhale deeply. Second inhale. Inhale a third time. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yashmare Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi Om Shuklam Bharadhanam Vishnum Seshivanam Shatubhajam Prasnavaranam Dayat Sava Vignopasantaye Jaganesha Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Venama Jai Guru Om Trayambakam Yajamaye Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanan Michur Mukshiyam Amritat Om Namah Shivaya Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Datri Svasvadana Mostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jabutitaharani Jayasavagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute Jemakali Om Krim Bhadrakalye Nama. And I invite you to join in chanting the mantra. Om Krim Bhadrakalye Nama. 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 Jema Bhadrakali. Jema Bhadrakali. Jema Bhadrakali. Om Kapuragodam Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendra Haram Sada Santam Hridayada Vinde Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami Devi Prapanote Hare Prasida Prasida Matada Jagata Kilasya Prasida Bishvesvara Pe Vishvam Tvameshwara Devi Chachara Charasya Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Svaha Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Svaha Agni Jyotir Jyotiagnir Svaha. So I invite you to continue to join me in the chanting of my Bhadrakali's mantra. This can be an open-eyed meditation or a closed-eyed meditation, or you can just simply meditate quietly and let the sound of the mantra guide your consciousness to where it needs to be at this time. Om Krim Bhadrakalye Namah. 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 Om Krim Bhadrakali 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 Namah. Jema Bhadrakali. Jema Bhadrakali. Jema Bhadrakali. So I invite you to meditate upon our fire and imagine those things that are no longer working for you in your life. Imagine yourself giving those to the fire as a transformative offering, dropping them into the flames so those energies can be liberated into their more genuine form. And feel those transformed energies coming back to you in the form of heat and in the form of life. So let fear be transformed into courage. Let uncertainty be transformed into confidence. Let sickness be transformed into healing. Let poverty be transformed into prosperity. Let feelings of self-worthlessness be transformed into worthiness. Let self-worth increase. Let ignorance be transformed into knowledge and wisdom. Let strife be transformed into peace. And may we feel the presence of the Divine Mother within ourselves as well as surrounding us. Jai Ma Bhadrakali. Jai Ma Bhadrakali. Jai Ma Bhadrakali. Jai Ma Bhadrakali. Jai Ma Bhadrakali Devi Namah. Om Sava Mangala Mangaye Shiva Svada Sadike Saranye Trambake Devi Nayane Namostute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Mritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sana Vavatu Sanau Bhunaktu Saviryam Kadavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvidyavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tatsatom. Jai Ganesha. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Ma Devi. Jai Ma Kali. Jai Ma Bhadrakali. Om Krim Bhadrakali Namah. So I invite you to bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Thanking that divine mother within yourself and acknowledging her presence and knowing that she's there to lead you, to heal you, to teach you always. And take a moment to give gratitude to yourself for taking part in our practice tonight. And know you can replay this broadcast at any time that you'd like to do it. You can always practice Ma Bhadrakali's mantra anytime that you have need. Very powerful one. Slowly opening your eyes if they were closed. And namaste. Blessings always. Thank you so very much for joining me. Jema. 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 So I hope you enjoyed this evening's puja and satsang. As always, please take some time for some quiet contemplation before resuming the day or the evening's activities. Once again, I'm sorry that we're not going to be having a Tuesday satsang, but I look forward to you joining me next Friday for our Yoga Nidra practice. And once again, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Thank you to Jamie. Thank you to Kim. Thank you to anyone else joining live. And thank you to everyone who'll be watching the recording in the future. Have a wonderful night. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma.